So you're very welcome. So this is, I suppose, module 2. It's largely been about curriculum design. So it's been trying to teach you how to write learning outcomes, but how to plan lessons, more from a design point of view rather than specifically going into the teaching and learning methods. You learn that throughout the course in different aspects, but this is specifically on trying to plan curriculum, and the assignment is based on that as well. So today we want you to split into groups. We want you to do a lesson. That's 15 minutes. Okay, so it's 15 minutes. So if it's not 15 minutes now, it has to be 15 minutes in half an hour's time. Okay, so that's one of the things, because if students have time planned for 15 minutes and you give them 5 minutes, well, they're shortchanged. Nobody feels good about that. So you have to lengthen your lessons to the time you have. And in previous years, myself and Pauline have been doing this for maybe 4 or 5 years now. Everyone's maybe a little bit shorter, so that's something you need to think about, okay? You need to try and lengthen it out, and actually as you teach this onward and your teaching script becomes better, it gets tighter. So we were discussing that oftentimes when you're teaching groups like this, maybe undergraduate teaching is a little bit more formalized, but postgraduate teaching, I don't know how quick people get stuff. So we often have way more resource than we need, because that's what you need to do, because sometimes you'll have to pull that in to use it if the group is moving very quickly. Okay, so we'll split everybody up into the 5 groups. If you haven't been a member of a group already, maybe what I'd ask you to do is join a group, one of the smaller groups, obviously. So if there's a group with 5, please join that. And just make yourself known that you're a new member. I know lots of you have done work already. Describe your skill. Write 3 learning outcomes. Remember those. They're great.
You're all so good at it now, aren't you? Having the nativity.
So these are knowledge, skills and attitudes that you need to do your skill. So there'll have to clearly be a skill, okay, but there may be some cognitive learning issues within the skill you're teaching, and there may be some professional issue that you also want to get across, okay? So 3 learning outcomes. In reality, there's probably 10, 9, 3 is fine, okay, so we're not going to penalise you because you didn't cover everything. But in reality, that's another thought, that you need to cover the entire lesson. So, I mean, the biggest issue with this is, what are the students mainly got to take out of your lesson? What's the outcome or the behaviour that they need to have when they're leaving what you've taught? Okay. The teaching and learning plan is what you're going to do. This is a thing called a teaching script. It's a bit like being in a movie, where you stand, what you say, how you deliver it, the way you teach this. And no one is expecting anyone to be experts, but within the group there's probably a reasonable resource of how you might do these things, so work together, and it changes all the time. See, there's no static nature to what you teach. Your lessons should be different. They should be continually evolving. So as you move on and you teach different groups, the lesson has to change. If you're teaching in a different environment, you might have to change it. But also the content may be learned quicker. Someone may be teaching something in 2nd year now that's knocking something out of your 3rd year plan, so you need to move your lesson on. So these are continually changing. Also looking at what the students need, what they want, and what, I suppose, the school or the environment you're teaching in, what the goals or the outcomes for that are. They may change sometimes, so you need to be aware of all these. Get your props and resources, and basically get to work. I think that's it.